大家好，欢迎你回到 CHI 113的频道，我是高老师。今天我们要继续学第5课对话1。第5课说什么？跟我说看朋友，看朋友。And as always, if you watch the video and do what it asks you to do, you should be able to accomplish the following learning objectives. Number 1, you should be able to understand and be able to pronounce using the correct tones all of the assigned vocab words from Lesson 5, Dialogue 1. Number 2, you should be able to read and fully comprehend on your own the dialogue. Number 3, you should have a basic understanding of the dialogue's main grammar points, and there are 2 that we'll focus on here in this pre-class video. And number 4, you should be able to read and write all of the characters for next class's dictation quiz. 准备好了吗？我们开始吧。Let's begin where we always do by first listening to the audio of our new vocab words from Lesson 5, Dialogue 1. And here, I think it's really important, since Lesson 5, Dialogue 1 has a lot of vocab words, to listen to those vocab words we studied for the previous class. As you hear the speaker pronounce these words, please try your best to mimic their pronunciation out loud.
Lesson 5, Dialogue 1. Vocabulary. 1.
Yeah.
Interjectory particle used to soften a question. 2.
进
To enter. 3.
快
Fast. Quick. Quickly. 4.
进来
To come in. 5.
来
To come. 6.
介绍
To introduce. 7.
一下
Once. A bit. 8.
高兴
Happy. Pleased. 9.
漂亮
Pretty. 10.
坐
To sit. 11.
在
At. In. On. 12.
哪儿
Where. 13.
学校
School. 14.
喝
To drink. 15.
点儿
A little. A bit. Some. 16.
茶
Tea. 17.
咖啡
Coffee. 18.
吧
A sentence final particle. 19.
要
To want. 20.
瓶
Measure word for bottles. Bottle. 21.
可乐
Coke or Pepsi Cola. 22.
可以
Can. May. 23.
对不起
Sorry. 24.
给
To give. 25.
杯
Measure word for cup and glass. 26.
水
Water.
Please go back now and listen to this audio at least 2 more times, repeating out loud what you hear. There's a lot of vocab words in Lesson 5, Dialogue 1. I think I've said that 3 times already. So let's practice. Let's 练习生词. To drink. 中文怎么说? 喝. 跟我说喝. 这是什么? 这是什么? Tea. 中文怎么说? 茶. 跟我说茶。 Cola. 中文怎么说? 可乐。可乐。 Coffee. 中文怎么说? 咖啡。咖啡。 Water. 中文怎么说? 水。水。 Let's take a moment now to listen to the audio from the textbook dialogue.
Lesson 5. Dialogue 1. Visiting a friend's home.
谁呀？是我，王鹏，还有李友。请进，请进，快进来。来，我介绍一下，这是我姐姐，高小音。
小音你好。
你好，认识你很高兴。
认识你们我也很高兴。你们家很大，也很漂亮。是吗？请坐，请坐。
小音，你在哪儿工作？
我在学校工作。你们想喝点什么？喝茶还是喝咖啡？
我喝茶吧。
我要一瓶可乐，可以吗？对不起，我们家没有可乐。那给我一杯水吧。
Please go back and listen to this audio at least 2 to 3 more times just to make sure you can fully understand what all the speakers are saying. I know what you're thinking. There are a ton of vocab words in Lesson 5, Dialogue 1, and I agree with you. There are a lot. So one of the most effective methods to use in order to remember all of these new vocab words is flashcards, and Quizlet is set up to help you with this. All you have to do to start practicing our new vocab words from Lesson 5, Dialogue 1 is scan the QR code on your screen or click on the link below in the description section of this video. Let's move on now and look at the second grammar point that we'll focus on in the next class session, and that is 一点儿 or 点儿, which indicates a slight increase in degree of the quality as represented by the adjective. And so this grammar point appears in the second sentence here on the screen. So 高小音 says, 我在学校工作。你们想喝点什么? Let's look a bit closer at this grammar point. With 一点儿, you're going to have a verb that comes before it, and then it's going to be followed by a noun. And it's used to indicate a small quantity of something. That's why oftentimes we'll translate it as a little bit or some. And it's different than 以下, which we'll touch upon here very soon. Let's look at an example. 喝一点可乐. 喝一点可乐 would mean to drink some cola. 中文怎么说? Eat a little bit of Chinese food. 中文怎么说? We could say 吃一点 中国饭吃一点儿中国饭 So notice we have the verb right here in front, and then it's followed by the noun, or the object here. Chinese food, 中国饭 So let's look at the first example here. 你想吃点什么？你想吃点什么？ What would you like to eat? You could say, 我想吃点中国饭。我想吃点中国饭。Or you could say, 我想吃点美国饭。I want to eat some Chinese food. I want to eat some American food. 你想喝点什么？你想喝点什么？ What would you like to drink? You could say, 我想喝点水。Or you could say, 我想喝点咖啡。Or 我想喝点可乐。Or 我想喝点茶。The main difference between 一点 and 以下, as I've already mentioned, is that 一点 quantifies the object, right? It's modifying the object that follows it. Whereas 以下 quantifies the verb that comes before it. So let's practice. 我们来练习. Please try to fill in the blanks with either 以下 or 一点. Let's look at number 1. 你想吃 blank 日本菜吗? Here it would have to be 点 because we have a noun or Japanese food that follows it. So it's asking, do you want to eat some Japanese food? What about number 2? 你看 blank 这是中国电影还是美国电影? Here it would be 以下because we're talking about the verb here, right? It's softening the tone. You look, right? Look at this. And it's also indicating that the action is going to be very short in duration. And there's no object that follows it. So we know 以下 would be the most appropriate answer. What about number 3? 你想喝 blank 可乐吗? Here we have an object 可乐 at the end, cola. So the appropriate word would be 点儿. 你想喝点可乐吗? Do you want to drink some cola? What about number 4? 你听 blank 这是谁的歌? Because we're modifying the verb here, 听 meaning to listen, the correct answer would be 以下. Right? Listen. Whose song is this? Lastly, let's look at number 5. 今天我们吃 blank 中国菜好吗? We have an object, 中国菜, so hopefully that tipped you off that it should be 点儿. 今天我们吃点儿中国菜好吗? Tonight, or today, let's eat some Chinese food. How's that sound? The last grammar point we want to focus on in this part of the dialogue is the particle ba, which is used to soften the tone of a command or a suggestion. This is how it appears in the dialogue. Wang Peng says, 我喝茶吧. 我喝茶吧. So the ba here is placed at the end of the sentence to soften his suggestion or his command here that he wants to drink tea. So the particle ba is used at the end of a sentence. That's really important to remember. It always goes at the end of a sentence. And it helps to soften the tone, making it more polite. So here I want you to listen to these different audio files, which I think will help illustrate the point I'm trying to make here. Let's listen to the first one without a ba.
进来.
So do you hear how the speaker is speaking? 进来. It's like a command. Now what happens when we add a ba to this?
进来吧.
Hopefully you can tell by the tone of voice that it's softened and it comes across as being much more polite. Let's try another one.
你去睡觉. 你去睡觉吧.
Again, very direct, like a command. What happens when we add a ba?
你去睡觉吧.
It softens the tone, making it much more polite. 好， what if somebody said 我没有书 and then you wanted to suggest, hey, you can look at my book? How would you say this using the particle 把? You could say 你看我的书吧, right? You look at my book. And then adding the 把 on the end because it's a suggestion and you're trying to make this suggestion sound polite. Let's try another one. So somebody says 我们没有咖啡，只有茶. How would you ask for some tea? Well, you could say 我喝茶吧. I'll drink tea. 我喝茶吧. This 吧 at the end softens the tone, making it much more polite. Let's practice. See if you can translate the sentences below using 吧. And I'll help you with the first one here. Please sit. We could say 请坐吧,请坐吧. 请 means please. It already makes it somewhat polite. But adding the 吧in the end makes this command much more polite. It turns it into a suggestion. What about number 2? Let's dance. Or us dance. We could say 我们跳舞吧,我们跳舞吧. What about number 3? Please give me a glass of water. 中文怎么说?请给我一杯水吧. 请给我, please give me 一杯水吧, one glass of water. And then lastly, why don't I treat you to dinner tomorrow? So literally, tomorrow I treat you to dinner. 明天我请你吃晚饭吧. It's a suggestion saying, hey, how about if I treat you to dinner tomorrow night? For additional help with these 3 grammar points, please do reference your textbook. You'll find pages 130 and 132 to 133 very helpful. And finally, there's a lot of vocab words that we have to cover for the next class session. So now it's time for us to start practicing writing these characters. Number 1, 坐,坐, meaning to sit. 在,在, it's the preposition meaning at, in, or on. 哪儿,哪儿, meaning where. 学校,学校, meaning school. 喝,喝, meaning to drink. 点儿,点儿, meaning a little, a bit, or some. And you don't have to say the R in the end here. You could say 点. Both forms of pronunciation are correct. 茶,茶, meaning tea. 咖啡,咖啡, meaning coffee. 爸,爸, which is a sentence final particle used to soften the tone of a suggestion. 要,要, meaning to want. 瓶,瓶, which is a measure word for a bottle. So 一瓶水 would be 1 bottle of water. 可乐,可乐, cola, Coke. 可以,可以, meaning can or may. 对不起,对不起, meaning sorry. 给,给, meaning to give. 杯 is a measure word for things contained in a cup or a glass. So 一杯水 would be 1 cup of water. 水 meaning water. If you're like me and really enjoy listening to podcasts, whether it's during your free time or commuting back and forth from campus, you should definitely check out this blog. It provides brief descriptions and links to 5 popular and, most importantly, free podcasts that you can start listening to right away. So in order to access this blog, all you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen or click on the link below in the description section of this video. Research shows that frequent testing and quizzing can help you remember what you've just studied. So don't forget that once you feel comfortable with these new vocab words, the characters, and grammar points from Lesson 5 Dialogue 1, please do take the practice quizzing canvas before our next class session. 好的，谢谢大家，下次见，再见。